Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Well, good morning. Once again, we apologize for that delay, but here we are with today's issues at hand. And of course, we are discussing something very, very important. Of course, it's a political season. If you remember what happened in especially last week in Gulu. But of course, this is the first time we are seeing this. It also happened in Barara, it happened in Arua. And so we realized that at some point we had peaceful campaigns, and we were all jubilating that, yeah, at least that is where we want to be. And in a ton of events, we are seeing increasingly the campaigns becoming violent, people being beaten, especially what happened in Gulu was really not good. But also, because it is a campaign season, we want to see how and what kind of manifesto suits the electorates. Of course, with us is someone who had come out to stand for presidency. She'll tell us what happened eventually. But of course, with us is Yvonne Pambada. Of course, we are also expecting Sarah Nachintu, who should be joining us shortly. But with us is Yvonne. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm glad to be here. It's actually my first time on Family TV.
Yeah, sure.
So I am excited to see how this show goes, but also to genuinely start contributing, of course, towards a Uganda that we want. But good morning to our dear viewers.
You started with a very beautiful phrase, the Uganda that we want.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the kind of Uganda we want to discuss this morning. So people, we saw you pick nomination forms, and then out of the blue, we don't know what happened. So are you among the people that didn't get the 100 signatures from the 98 districts?
That's not true. We were able to collect support from across the entire country, but the issues arose from when we tried to submit them with the Electoral Commission. We're still trying to establish the kind of criteria and system they are trying to use to determine who exactly gets on that ballot. And I think if you've been following the nature of how I've been doing my interviews, I've actually come out to strongly condemn the fact that the systems were not open, they were not transparent, and majority of us feel like we're cheated out of the system from running. And of course, from the fact that from the forehand, we are now realizing that they were probably only accepting political parties onto the ballot. You would have rather done that than let us waste our time trying to, get all this support, which requires so much resources, so much time, and at the end of the day, you're not being clear about what systems work to make sure that you are having a transparent system for people to be able to get on the ballot. So we felt cheated. We felt that the Electoral Commission was not being very sincere in terms of what exactly they were looking for, and we felt that the excuses who are being given by the Electoral Commission for why we were not able to even reach the submission level. We fought to submit, but we did not make it. We felt that we were cheated out of it. We felt that the system was not transparent.
From this experience, now that it was clear, they only nominated people from political parties, majorly.
And men.
Yes. What do you think should be done that in the forthcoming elections, an amendment should come out to see that it is all inclusive?
The issue is also sometimes not about even the policy. Electoral Commission has very clear laws in terms of who should get on the ballot, what they need, I don't know what happens in between for that system to become that shady. And if you notice, most times the system that is quite shabby, most times benefits a certain category of people. So it means that those who are sidelined would never benefit. But we feel that some of their laws are already clear. The issue where we have issues with Electoral Commission comes to issues like electoral financing, which I think we'll discuss a bit later. But for now, in terms of criteria, the system itself from the physical part of it is not clear. Because the paperwork is clear, but they are not clear as individuals who are handling the system. When we reach there to submit, this work to submit the supporter forms, it is why we started having issues. And even if you talk to, I think we are 3 ladies who tried to manage reach a submission stage. If you talk to them, they're going to tell you they went through the same experience, they went through the same issues. So it seems maybe behind there, the system was already intentional about who they're excluding not to appear on the ballot. So I don't want to give you the solutions for what they should do, because on paper, the things are there. The things are clear. I don't know how ISO came in. They didn't do the right thing. I don't know how ISO came in to start determining who they call to inquire whether you are a true signature or not. Those are things they need to be clear about. So in practice, they were not very transparent, but on paper and in terms of the laws and policies they are clear. So as we are now challenging them in terms of practicability, what are they doing as individuals? And of course now we have told them as individuals and as a system as a whole, as Electoral Commission, to be more transparent next time, to make sure that more Ugandans are getting on the ballot. How do you have 8 men on the ballot? How do you not have a young person on the ballot? How do you not? And you have the same excuses. So we feel intentionally sidelined, and we feel we have to complain because that system was not transparent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sarah is here with us. It's a pleasure having you this morning as well. And you found us talking about, among the issues, having only men on the ballot for the presidential aspirants. Only men. And where is the position of women, especially you who comes from the inter-party women?
Well, thank you so much. It's a blessing to be here, and good morning to our viewers. Yeah, I think it was intentional from the government to exclude women this time round. Yes, first of all, we were here for her. We supported her.
Lovely to see you again.
Yes, good to see you. Yes, and it was really a disappointment to us not to have her on the ballot. Yeah, I know it was intentional because we had President called to nominate certain people and to exclude certain people. I think her and, is it Muhammad Nisereko? Yeah, we are basically excluded, and it was intentional by EC. By the way, EC has very many loopholes at the time. First of all, what is their criteria of finding signatures? Not only at the headquarters, even ECs in our areas, in our districts. Yes, they can wake up and say, this signature is not right. Call the person who signed if the signature is not right. But they just say this one is not right, this one is, at least they have some criteria where they were identifying NIN numbers and what, that was okay. But then if the NIN number is correct, then how can the signature be wrong if it is the same person who gave me his NIN number and the signature as well? So is there a time to call these people early enough to amend this? Because that is possible, but they do this at last minute. We were in shock when she was not nominated, and we had a lot of questions because we believed in her. We wanted a woman on the ballot as well. So I think it is intentional by government, by EC, to frustrate us. But anyway, come next elections.
And at that point, as Mrs. Nachintu, you contested. I mean, you contested previously, you're contesting again in the race. And so someone would say, at least you are in a position, you're contesting in a position that barely would have been for men. You didn't go for the woman district representative. You're coming from Mukono municipality. And the same is with the loopholes, nominated you successfully and has not yet nullified you. So why does it become unfair on at some point, and at another point it is fair?
No, okay. Me, I'll give credit to Muganzi Mark, our EC person in Mukono. He's straightforward. Honestly, is the guy who can give you ample time up to 8 in the night. He's around. He was always calling us. Whoever is going to nominate, come and do this early enough, do A, B, C, D, E. But if it is intentional, like the EC in Kampala, the head of, yes, then it becomes difficult. But by the way, our EC is so good to the extent that in the other elections, there was somebody who wanted to bring in like votes, the other day, and we heard him say, the president said, whatever junk you want to do it in the field, not at the Tale Center. On the mic. So Mark is, by the way, different from this. I'm telling you, they were asking us for receipts from the EC. I called him and I said, Mark, I am at the EC, and it was at 5. But I said, I am coming. Then he said, I am here. So basically, there are those that are good, but there are those that are influenced, yes, by the upper hand. Like her case. My case is different. The other time I nominated, even this time I have nominated, even on the open seat. It is not a taboo to come on the open seat. All these seats are ours. It is caused that it is just deliberate by government. Even in the Constitution, this seat is there is a phrase that says he. There would have been a clause that says he or she, but it is not there. That shows that this is deliberate by government to frustrate women not to come up. Yes.
Luckily, you saw that, and you're about 4 at the same post. Are you not 4 or more than 4?
In my seat, we are 11.
No, I mean the women.
The women. Yeah, we are 4.
Hey, you're 4.
Yes.
At least.
Yeah.
That is good competition.
Yes. No, but it takes someone to come up. You see, if something is intentional by government, even if you go to the field, they say, now women, aren't you rigid? You have your affirmative action seat. Now you're coming here. So like, we should go back right away from the Constitution, then sensitizing masses on these open seats, that they are for all of us. Yes, not only men that should come up on these. So even EC needs to do a lot of sensitization. We find like EC has a lot of loopholes, not only in nomination, even doing voter education. They have not done anything currently. You find people are voting and people are calling you, Honorable, who are we voting today? Yes. Because they don't know. There is no awareness. There is no sensitization. And then they have a very big budget. And even they asked for supplement. Yes, last week. Yes, a supplementary budget. They asked for it.
It was given over 400 billion.
Oh, my dear, this is frustrating our government. That money would have been taken to infrastructure, hospitals, and what, other than asking for supplements. So like, you see, and I would love to pose a question, where did the nomination fees go? If they're asking a supplement now, yes, we are over 8,000 members of parliament, and that money enough even is extra than what they asked for a supplement. What are they using this money for? And yet initially they had a strong budget that was given to them. So isn't this corruption? Isn't this? Yeah, basically.
So probably money went to the URA accounts and is collected as tax.
No, but you also forget that every single budget year, every fiscal year, Uganda budgets for the electoral commission.
Yes.
So where is that money going? Where is that money going? If we've been budgeting for the past 5 years towards this election, and you were also given another budget for this particular election, again you're asking for a supplementary budget of 400 plus billion for the same election 4 weeks away. Where is the money going?
Part of this money was supposed to create the new polling stations that are going to be created.
The 15,000 they talked about, 4 weeks to elections?
Yes. We start from there, Yvonne.
Isn't
from there. Let's start from there, because now I think okay, first pose your question. Otherwise,
how relevant are these polling stations? Because ISI says the reason they created these they are creating these polling stations is because they assume that the biometric verification machines, biometric voter verification machine, can take up to about 700 people. And so, for polling stations that have more than 700 people, they were forced to create new polling stations. And what is your view about this?
They were forced to create new polling stations 4 weeks to a general election. The election, I think maybe the audience might not know when the election is. The election is on 15th January of 2026.
Today is 8th.
Today is 8th.
December.
An electoral commission that has had 5 years to plan is telling you 4 weeks to an election.
They have not seen the biometric.
So you're forcing it 4 weeks to an election.
When are they
I think
sensitizing?
sometimes maybe they assume Ugandans we don't understand. Don't you think our leaders sometimes think we don't understand what's happening? That's very disrespectful. Ugandans are awake. You cannot tell us you've had all these years to plan. You've had 5 years to plan for an election, and you've been planning by the way. You've been planning, and you tell us 4 weeks to an election. The now is when you realize you need machines, you need polling stations new. So where have you been getting this data that you've been giving to the public from? The data of you have 18 million voters. How many did they say we have now? 21. Where is that data coming from? The
voters register.
The Electoral Commission put up open voter registries. Where were those voters coming from? If you don't have 15,000 polling stations, where is that data coming from?
That's what
The data came from, you know, when government wants to do their adjuncts, they brought this updating of national IDs. The only criteria was they wanted to put in their new people into these into these registers. So yeah, you know, when you go around town currently, go to Kampala at night, you will find people hawking tomatoes, green peppers and what. And when you say, I want some in our local language, they don't understand. And at times if you say, how much is this in English, some of them even don't understand. Then they come to neighbor, what have they said? And then they return to their local languages. Now the neighbor knows the language. What does this depict? That government has brought very more people who are going to engage in this election who are not Ugandans.
How do you prove they're not Ugandans?
No. How do I prove? First of all, language. When you say, how much are these tomatoes? And then he asks in another language, even which I don't know, to a neighbor, what is this saying?
Have you taken time to understand the language? It's not one of the dialects we speak in.
No, it is not one of the dialects in the country. So, by the way, I also take time to ask others around, and then they say, these are from Rwanda. They have just come in. So basically, new entrants in the country are going to vote for President Museveni.
We do not verify that.
We have to. No, let me complete. So from what you asked me, we need to call out the Electoral Commission as a shabby system that is intentionally becoming shabby. Because what does shabbiness in this particular process benefit? If we start getting a disorganized Electoral Commission, that is not sure, because from these 15,000 polling stations, how many more processes and mechanisms do you need to do to divide? At whatever level you're going to go to, village, county, constituency, what level of preparation do you need to do all that work in a space of 4 weeks, and you tell us you're going to do it effectively?
Okay.
Is that a system that knows what it's doing? Or it knows what it's doing, but it knows who is going to benefit from what is going to be the outcome of whatever chaos is going to come from this? Like she's saying, I'm just not kinder and politer with words, and I don't know how to mince them, but clearly you're playing with Ugandans. You know what's going to happen to the system the minute it's this shabby, and you know that there are so many voters that are not even in those registries that you're going to plant somewhere and tell us these are the votes Museveni has gotten from this election. We are awake.
So meaning you've already lost trust in the results.
This system is not working, honestly. It's not transparent. We are seeing what it's doing, and we are going to call it shabby. And if it's shabby, then it's going to benefit one person. Okay. It's not going to benefit me, who they've already eliminated off the ballot. It's not going to benefit Chagulanyi, who they beat yesterday. It's not going to benefit, I don't know who these other ones are, Munyago, Mutilawan. It's not going to benefit them. There's someone who is already a beneficiary who knows the outcome of whatever nonsense is going to come out of this chaos of things that are not prepared for. Of course, they're prepared from their background of what they're going to do, but to us, they are trying to systemize, or what they call weaponize a system now, to make it seem like by law they've created something that works.
Okay.
But we are being honest. How are you creating 15,000 polling stations in 4 weeks to elections?
Well, we
and even like
we are going to start from there. Stick with us.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Welcome back from the commercial break. We are discussing issues of politics, and now yesterday the chairperson of the Electoral Commission came out with a statement talking about the violence that was witnessed in Gulu, and said it's unfortunate that this comes days after the agents of the candidates together with the security and the Electoral Commission had sat and agreed on a number of issues. Now, what does this mean, Sarah? What does this mean, especially when Electoral Commission comes to say we sat and agreed on A, B, C, and D, and it is unfortunate that one of the parties that was part of the meeting went and did something otherwise. But also the violence we are witnessing in these elections, in these campaigns. At some point, we've even seen some violence in the parliamentary campaigns. Not only some of them are candidate and supporters versus police and other security, and then others candidate A supporters versus candidate B supporters. So what is bringing this momentum? Should we still see people looking for sympathy, or there is something wrong in the system?
Thank you so much. Once politics is militarized, this is what we have always. You know, police is in politics, the army is in politics, and all of them defending one candidate. So what are they doing? They are just frustrating the opposition. Yes. For example, if you start tear gassing people all the time, even shooting bullets in the air, even like shooting people. Where did I see when they shot someone in the leg?
Yeah.
Yesterday, even like they Kayunga. So really, let us have the army and police out of campaigns. Then we shall have good campaigns. That is one of the things. Then secondly, we have seen gangs, people who try to put on the other parties' uniforms. For example, in Mukono, when President Chagulanyi was going to Mukono South, there were guys who had brought stones alongside the road, and in the morning the stones were there, and people could not even like depict that these stones will be used to beat like the police vehicles. So what happened? These guys put on red t-shirts and they came and hit police vans, police cars, the patrol vehicles. And then police turned back, to tear gas, and there are even these new things they are using, electrified something, I don't know even how to term it. There are gadgets they are having, they are electrified. So when they use it onto you, that electric shock goes into you. So they use those things, but there were guys from NRM who put on red t-shirts to start such things. So if these gangs and thugs are not dealt with, this will continue. Because now this is what they are using, this is now their trend. So it is all about from the NRM. Let campaigns be fair. If we decided to go into a multi-party dispensation, let it be fair for everyone. Why can a particular candidate come, pass through the tarmac road and everything, and the other one is being pushed into the bush? Is there fairness? If anything happens, for example, the campaign trail for Robert Chagulanyi through Mukono, oh my goodness. First of all, it was frustrating. Second, it was through those very bad roads in the district. And yet when the president comes, just goes through. When President Museveni comes, he just goes through these very good roads. So it is really
rehabilitated road.
Of course. So it becomes unfair. And I am proud that amidst each and everything, opposition has maneuvered. Yes, we are going forward. That is the bit of it. That is one. Then too, there is also this thing we call commercialization of politics. You see, they are ferrying people from one district to another, students from one district to another. So it becomes unfair. If you can ferry people and yet you stop others to even move with a little convoys they are having, then I think government has failed. The army has failed. They have no any other solution to this state. So this is where we come out and say, voters, it is high time we do away with this government. Okay. Yes, vote rightly this time round, and we shall eliminate all this.
Even looking at the current trend of campaigns, someone would say it is now survival for the fittest. So probably at some point we sympathize with it's maybe easier for us seeing that some people like you wouldn't stand so strong for all this torture and persecution and all this to withstand.
Am I their child that they should start cuddling and protecting? And I didn't ask them for that protection. But
what is your interpretation of all this violence that is subject, especially to the people who are on the opposition?
I'll try and balance, I don't even know now where the violence has come from. Because peacefully, they reminded us at the beginning. I remember Norbert Mao's statements where he said, this is going to be the most peaceful election we've ever had. And we said, hey, I took it as a threat. I don't know how Ugandans were being relaxed. I said, peaceful in what way? Is it you're going to lock us in our homes? We won't say anything? Is it you're going to beat us the minute we step on the roads? Which way are you talking about peace in this particular? And I would have assumed that from the few weeks that followed on how things were very peaceful, police was not beating anyone, of course from a few incidences here and here where they were trying to redirect people on their campaign trails, I would have assumed this would have been the trend up to the end. But it's very unfortunate that a few weeks to elections, and me, I'm going to directly sympathize with Ugandans. At the end of the day, politicians have their motives. They want power, they want what? So me, my sympathy is not going to go there directly. It's going to go to the Ugandans that are always caught in the crossroads of most of this fire, being shot, being beaten, being brutalized. And politicians continue like this should be a normal activity. It should not be normal for Ugandans to be dying on campaign trails. It should not be normalized. It should not be normal for a president to be beaten during campaigns. Why would you beat Chagulanyi? I'm a sympathizer, yes, but I'm also particularly not too aligned to Noop to say that I'll just be defending. But why would you beat a president on a campaign trail? Does it make sense? In which country have we seen this happening? That a president is beaten when you're campaigning, including your security that was given to you by the state. You're beaten together. So who is protecting who? Who is protecting who? We need to understand. So I guess we need to reach a point where we say either whatever this NRM has done, let them just do what they want, and we pull out of elections completely. We say that, listen, if you're going to continue brutalizing Ugandans to this level, and it starts to take bloodshed for us to reach where we're going, take your thing and go. Leave us alone. And I think that is why the level of voter apathy now is rising. Because honestly, Ugandans would rather be safe than have to deal with a brutalizing state. Why should I put myself out there to be beaten on behalf of Robert Chagulanyi, shot in the leg, the other one was bleeding from the head?
From the head. Oh dear.
Why should I put myself there to go through it, and yet at the end of the day I still know the outcome of this election? What purpose does it serve? So we need to be very genuine about what this country is doing. We need to call it out. We need to be intentional. Whatever investigations NRM keeps lying that they are doing, I don't know whether to call it NRM or the state at this point. I don't know the difference. Whatever investigations they keep telling us about, Honorable has talked about people where the other parties colors and they go and start disorganizing. And then you tell us you're doing investigations to be sure who is doing what. And we never hear what comes out of those investigations. If you're not doing the work you're meant to do, we are going to say you are the one who is being violent.
Of course.
Isi will come out and tell you and say, no, but even at the end of the day, you are also violent back. No, show us from your investigations that even us we are violent back. Show us. It's the burden to prove that is on you, not on us who are trying to make sure we are freeing our country, but you put in the burden on me to determine that you're beating me for a reason. Why should I determine that for you? So the Electoral Commission also has to be intentional. If they're not intentional about how their systems are working, there's no one who is going to trust it. So you're lying at the end of the day. What work are you doing? You come and give us blanket statements and tell us, oh, we've called parties and told them to be peaceful, but at the end of the day when Museveni issues here an instruction and tells you these ones beat them on the trail, who is going to refuse? Is it going to be Biabakama to go to Barra and say people don't beat Chagulanyi? Who is going to refuse? If the systems have all been infiltrated and they cannot perform what they're supposed to perform, how are you expecting Ugandans to also settle and say, you do what you want, we are going to leave you alone? Like I said in earlier statements, you cannot attempt to monopolize violence. We've watched you all these trends of elections. You've done the same thing. Then you tell Ugandans, you be peaceful, me as I beat you. It doesn't work like that.
You can also look at the level of how they're imprisoning opposition people. 300. Just on the campaign trail? Really? That is abnormal. Honestly, people are rotting in jail now because you're supporting a candidate. If they don't want us to engage into elections, let them just announce themselves, and we know that. And
we know that. Listen, this election is dead. Ugandans have not been asked to participate. We go to our homes and sleep and look for something else to do. Okay. But you can't brutalize us every time you tell us we have a civic duty. Then you beat us for doing it.
For doing the civic duty.
For doing it. So tell us that you want to rig election, you want to rule for life, we leave you alone and we go and sleep and expect to rise up when either you're dead or I don't know has brought a coup and removed you. But honestly, leave us alone. No. Okay. No.
Let me give you a scenario.
Yes, sir.
I was coming from a campaign trail and I happened to pass through one market. It was my way, like the way as I was going back home. So I saw the people were very expectant to hear from me and I said, let me go and give them a bite for like 15 minutes. Then I tell them I'll be coming next, because the coming week I'm supposed to work in that place. So now this NRM guys come. I had just finished my talk and the people are asking questions. They were really eager to hear from me. Then the NRM van comes with this the loudspeaker. So I first looked. Then I called one of them and I said, I'm just going out. Can you give me a few minutes? I answer these questions, then move. They started taking pictures. They started doing funny things. So I told my team, can we go? Because me, I don't want to incite violence. And this is a team of even a fellow woman. Eh? So now, and I said, I am here to change the political culture. I'm not going to go heads on with her. So I just told my team, let us drive and go. So we left. So if I was also a person who was engaged, who wanted to incite violence, would have started from there. Yes. So
Honorable Sarah raises something very important. Uganda needs to describe the kind of change it wants.
Okay.
She talked about a political culture of violence. If you know that you want a peaceful Uganda, stop depicting what violence looks like through the military. No, why are you doing these things of army men on rooftops shooting people? As such, I don't even find it funny. It's very traumatizing. So if you're describing what change looks like for Ugandans, it also includes, traumatizing us back. What is going to differentiate you from what these people have done and what Uganda expects? If we are saying you pulling the same gimmicks of military as these people. So to also balance a question, just like she said, this is a noble leader. If she's telling you I'm not willing to combat back, she knows violence sells. Ugandans will be up in arms the minute they see she's capable of also pushing back. They'll be like, have you seen Honorable Sarah? She pushed back NRM. But she says, no, I love my Ugandans. I want to protect my citizens. I want to protect my constituency. I don't want you to be violent towards my voters. And she said, no, I will not participate in what you're doing. That's a noble leader. She knows what she wants for her people. And she knows she's not willing to put any of her people at risk of violence. So she decides, no, let's sideline it and not give it the root it needs. If we continue this politics of excitement, that's the only way Ugandans are excited is when they see who is beaten, who is brutalized, who is what. Then the question of who is benefiting starts changing. And that's why leaders need to become intentional. It's either you're intentional that change for Ugandans looks like this. It's non-violent. We do not want it militarized, so that means even you're not gimmicking it. And the change will completely, it will be a 360, complete turn. Oh, not 360, 180. I always forget. That it will be a complete turn from what NRM has done. And you need to reflect it in what you're doing, how you're showing your leadership to the people. So Ugandans also now have mastered that this is how our leaders behave. This is what brings voters. This is what brings crowds. So they are all doing the same thing. And now I don't want people to attack me. But it does not make sense that at the end of the day, you're also benefiting from how the world is viewing this violence that is penetrated on Ugandans. And you think it's something you should continue. If I was on a campaign trail and one of my voters was shot, I will tell you from today, I'll go home. I'll say, people, let's find new strategies of fighting. I don't want a Ugandan hat on my trail. Because your blood is more important to me than the power I'm going to accumulate from this noise I'm making. So that is why Ugandans need to become intentional. It's either we continue politics of excitement, well, we know that the more numbers of the violence they are watching, the more numbers you're getting on your trail. Or we say, listen, we need a whole new shift of leaders who do not tolerate any of this nonsense. That if Museveni is doing it, we are not willing to do it. You brutalize our people. The way we call you out is not in terms of finding ways to make sure that they are seeing that you can do it better, that you can beat more and shoot more and brutalize more. You have to reach a point where you say, the blood of Ugandans to me is more important than the power I want to take over. And it should be important for Ugandans to realize that. So me, I don't want to coddle anyone. Because power should look like the way it's supposed to look like. Not what NRM has taught us. If we continue Musevenism, you people, no one will survive this country. And we have to be honest. Okay. We have to be honest.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. I see your time is running fast. Honorable, your party leader came out and told us that Dr. Besigye in prison said he's not happy with the way opposition is conducting the campaigns. Are you pleased as one of the party members the way in which campaigns are running, where fellow opposition leaders are fighting others? One in the opposition is fighting another in the opposition and another in the opposition, as if the battle now is opposition against opposition.
You give us an example.
Honorable knows the example.
But does the audience know?
Okay. My view would be from my personal experience in this election. I have had the incumbent speak about me. That, and you look at this Sarah Hulukwaga's brought to come and confuse Mukono. By the way, me, I don't have any hate speech. I am the only candidate with a proper manifesto in my constituency. And when I go out, I don't even utter their names out, but I speak on what they have not done. So I am strategic. She goes out speaking against anyone. So to me, this shows she has no message for us. She has no any other plans for the municipality. So, and to me, it gives me credit because they keep on saying, now who is this Sarah? Those things. So when Sarah comes, yes, she's campaigning for me. So now when I come in the area and they said, she said, you're coming here to do. Oh my goodness. I just tell them, ask her for me. If she's saying she has anything to offer, why are roads like this? Why is ABCD like this? Why are we in this state? So basically, they don't have any manifesto. So if you're there and speaking about against another opposition leader, you don't have anything to offer. But if you have a very great manifesto, you just give it to your voters and that will be done. Me, I don't have that head syndrome. I don't have time to speak to the opponents. When I come, I give you my manifesto and I tell you in 3.5 years I will be done with the municipality. So now it is upon the voters. And wherever I go, they said, yes, Sarah, you have the message.
What are your closing remarks as we wind up with this conversation? My
closing remarks is that voters are going to be frustrated during the voting day, beginning from where we have now new polling stations. Please don't give up. You might walk from the 1st to the 7th and you don't know where you're voting from. Yes, keep the courage, go and vote, because this is your mandate and it is the only chance that we have to have the difference that we want to have. So please wake up, go and vote. And secondly, stop asking for money. Yes, that is also another problem with the voters. But me, when you ask me for money, I know how to reply. And whatever I reply, then they start saying, please, that is also bad. That is why leaders don't come back, because they have already paid you. Vote for Sarah and just expect service delivery. Thank you so much. Mukono Municipality.
Your closing remarks as we wind up with this conversation.
I think it's mostly to remind Ugandans to stay vigilant. That now that we're entering a very sticky part of the election period, that they need to understand so many tactics that different politicians are trying to use, definitely to acquire power, and that they need to understand what kind of change they need for this country. Because if we don't define it for ourselves, if we don't understand what it looks like, we're going to continue the same systems, we continue killing ourselves, we continue dividing ourselves, like Honorable Sarah said. If we want to assume that politics should just largely be commercialized, then we are the losers at the end of the day. We'll never get the sensible leaders we need, because the ones with money are the ones that will continue to lead this country, and majority of us will be sidelined because we don't have that level of resources. So we need to define what change looks like for us. We need to also prepare for, after elections have been rigged. I'm not saying they'll be rigged, so don't hold me. The man might come looking for me. But anyway, now that if we see the outcome and it is what we might have already predicted, we have to find solutions now for how forward this country is going to go. In terms of us propelling, in terms of now what public service looks like, in terms of how do we end corruption. There are already so many issues. So as for the next 5 years, it's to strategize also as a nation, outside whatever this man has done, I don't want to mention the names, to see how we're going to move forward as a country. And I think it's very important that we remain vigilant.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you so much, Honorable Sada. And to you, our viewer, for you shall wait until the 5 years are gone.
No, I'm already planning from now. I'm not waiting.
I mean, voting for you.
Hey,
But Honorable Sada, because of municipality, she's there. And of course, Momulagiranga Dada. Come 15th January. Yeah, thank you so much for watching from where we started from. Wow, it was such an insightful discussion, and I believe that you've picked a thing or two, especially the fact that this is our Uganda. We do not have any other country. This is our country. This is our home, and so whatever is negative about this country is negative to ourselves as the citizens of this country. So let us guard our country jealously. Thank you so much for watching us. Edwin Austin Mukala is the name of our please. Patience, Esther, and Ivan from the entire team wish you a blessed day.
Issues at hand. The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of this television or its management, but as of individuals as we hear them.